from today's TMJ4.
This is breaking news now on your side.
That breaking news, a SWAT situation in Shorewood. Shorewood PD, the Sheriff's Department, other agencies on the scene of a serious domestic situation in an apartment building.
Right now, Oakland Avenue is shut down between Beverly and Edgewood. We believe police are focusing on an apartment on the 3rd floor. We have team coverage. Annie Scholz and Keller Russell are near the scene a few blocks south of Shorewood High School. Let's begin with Keller first. Keller?
And Mike and Shannon, we're about 2 blocks from the building that is in question. I can tell you within the last 30 minutes or so, the Milwaukee County bomb squad did arrive on the scene. It pulled up in the parking lot outside of this building. We haven't seen a lot of activity from it. But again, this area is still surrounded. It's been ongoing for the last 3 hours or so. Milwaukee County SWAT team surrounded the building shortly after 3 o'clock. We're told that this is a domestic situation. A law enforcement source tells me a man inside has made multiple threats. We're efforting information about the nature of those threats. I did speak with a man who lives in the building where this is all going on. He heard a bad fight earlier this afternoon in the apartment directly above him, and he tells me this is an ongoing domestic issue in this apartment and that police have been called here before.
I would say 3 weeks ago, my friend called the police on them because there was violence going on and he heard the woman screaming. So Shorewood police came in and they talked to the guy and they left. But today was more seriously, like the noises and I heard things dropping.
Now, I can tell you right now, I can still see officers in their SWAT gear with their guns standing outside in the building here. So far, we have not had any updates on the negotiations between the people in this apartment building and the law enforcement out here. Very much still an ongoing situation, though. Reporting live in Shorewood, Keller Russell, today's TMJ4.
Keller, we saw that vehicle off in the distance behind you there. Did you see any type of a robot or anything come rolling out of that vehicle?
Mike, we did see, my photographer was actually the one who saw it come out of the building, and Dan, did you see the robot go into the building too?
No, I just saw it come out of the vehicle.
He's telling me that the robot did come out of that white vehicle, but did not see it go into the building. Again, there are a lot of officers standing around the bomb squad unit. We are told that this guy did make multiple threats. We don't know, though, if he had any explosives inside the apartment.
Yeah, that's a good point. And our thanks to Dan Seelan, our photojournalist who's manning the cameras there. And it's worth noting here that when they bring the robot out, it can serve 2 purposes. It's used commonly to help defuse bombs, but other times it also allows officers to get into an area where there may not be a bomb because they haven't evacuated the area, but it allows a robot to go in and maybe knock down a door or go places where you don't want to expose officers to potential gunfire. And in fact, I'm sorry, we're saying there's robot. Oh, we do have the robot.
You can see it right there in the middle of the screen. It looks like an officer is in front of it and another officer in back.
You see the camera right there at the top, just beyond that officer's head and the reflective gear there. They can go in and they could run them up the elevator, for example, and then go on to the 3rd floor, and they can peer around corners. And that way it allows the officers to see what's going on without actually exposing themselves to gunfire or potential danger. They also have a mechanical apparatus on those little vehicles that allows them to, knock open a door, for example. So they serve a very valuable purpose without exposing law enforcement officers to any immediate danger. So,
and keeping them safe, definitely.
Yeah, and we talked about the bomb again. I was on the phone just a short time ago with the folks at Harley's Menswear. They are on the 1st floor. They are still in there. They have not been evacuated. They've been told to stay inside, but they haven't been evacuated. And that is, I see that at least as an encouraging sign, because it suggests that that there isn't the threat of gunfire down there or some type of an explosive that would otherwise warrant the immediate evacuation of the building.
But definitely something that has officers concerned when you talk about the number of different forces that are a part of this. West Allis Police Department has come through. The county SWAT is also involved in this, along with Shorewood Police. So they are taking the precautions necessary. And as we just saw with that robot, again, with them having that robot, it can go in, it can see in those places without putting officers in danger.
Exactly. And the video you're seeing right now is shot by Chopper 4 earlier this afternoon. This is not live video, but it is from the building itself. And we saw probably 4 or 5 Shorewood PD squad cars in the parking lot. We also saw a staging area a couple blocks north in the Shorewood High School parking lot where there were, actually it seemed like there were a dozen or more vehicles, both Shorewood PD and Sheriff's Department SWAT team members sort of conducting their staging area.
Well, I know we have Annie Scholz on the phone. She is actually, I believe, at the corner of Oakland Avenue and Edgewood, where she's been getting perspective of this incident as it's unfolded in the last 2 hours. Annie, are you there?
I am at that corner, Shannon, just a couple of blocks south of my colleague Keller Russell. They are not letting anybody go north or west from where I am standing right now. Some people are actually standing on the sidewalk within the Roque area, but something tells me they're not going to make it very long out there. The armored car is now approaching again. They have been telling people to get back in their buildings several times now. Understandably, people are stepping outside trying to get a feel for what's going on, but I think we're probably going to hear this car here in a minute telling people to get back inside. Now, there is a very heavy presence where I am standing as well. We have seen a Wisconsin State Fair Park trooper show up to try to help with traffic. We saw a Hales Corners police officer showing up to try to help with traffic. There is a soccer field that is nearby where I am standing. There was a gentleman earlier saying he wanted to try to get to the field. The deputies here said absolutely not. Our understanding is those games have been canceled. They are keeping this entire area clear. And now people are standing around here, several residents saying they just want to go home. But, of course, they're trying to keep them safe and sound. They actually just pushed us back a little bit from where we were standing a short time ago, more or less across the street. So we have been pushed a little farther south. So no word on whether they're going to push us back even farther from that. But as you mentioned, this is still a very active scene, and we'll keep you updated.
All right, thank you. Annie Scholz joining us live just about a block, 2 blocks south of the actual scene itself, 3500 block of North Oakland. We know that Shorewood BD has scheduled a news conference at police headquarters, which is just a couple of blocks to the east, and as soon as that begins, we will bring that to you live as well. In the meantime, we've got some really pretty incredible pictures of the situation unfolding just outside that building this afternoon.
These pictures are coming from Jeff Brandt. He is the owner of the men's clothing store Harley's. He sent this in, as you can see, with SWAT teams just kind of moving into the area. His perspective is really quite interesting.
And this is a very intriguing photo, and I will encourage you to look very closely just beyond the sidewalk to the right of the tree. You see one officer who is standing up there next to the side of the building, but if you look down on the ground, there is another officer who is sort of assumed a sniper position there, and he's covered himself with some camouflage so that he will not be immediately available to anybody who might be up there on the 3rd floor. So obviously you can see they are well armed against whatever threat there might be.
Yes, and definitely the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office SWAT team members are also responding to the situation. They look like they may be across the street from the apartment building in question on North Oakland Avenue. As you can see them crouching down, trying to get a position there on North Avenue. Again, this situation is all unfolded in the last 3 hours, and it continues to be an active scene.
Yeah, our thanks to Jeff Brand, who works at Harley's, and also Tim Ryan, the owner of Harley's, who's been conveying information to us this afternoon. They're in their office, their store on the 1st floor, told to stay in at this point until further notice. We will, of course, continue to follow this breaking news and cut in with any new information on this story just as soon as it becomes available.